Hi guys, it's Victor once again, and yes, I'm no longer in Germany. I've moved to the UK to begin as a PhD student at the University of Warwick. So let's go straight into this video. So this video is dedicated to talking about the Chevening scholarships. So I'll be doing 4 videos about the Chevening scholarship, the 4 different essays on the Chevening scholarship. So this is the first of the 4 videos I'll do on Chevening, and this essay is dedicated to the career plan essay on the scholarship. So let's begin. So the question is, Chevening is looking for individuals who have a clear post-study career plan. Please outline your immediate plans upon returning home and your long-term career goals. You may wish to consider how this relates to what the UK government is doing in your country. So this is the question. And they were also kind enough to give mistakes made in the past, and I'd like to read this also quickly, or to summarize. One of the mistakes made by past applicants is because they didn't have a convincing career path. Secondly, some people just said they wanted to do a PhD, but they didn't show that a PhD was just a means to an end, and not an just a means to an end, and not an end in itself. And it also said some do not have realistic career plans for themselves. So after reading the question and probably the observations they made about previous scholars, I think the best thing to do now is just put down the phone or put down the laptop and do some introspection. You might decide to take a walk or do something that will keep you ruminating over this question and these observations they've made already about previous applications. So because of anxiety, most people want to just get it done with once and for all, but this is dangerous because you've not really considered those your special experiences that would isolate you or distinguish you from other applicants. So it's good you go into yourself and think of wonderful career plans you have and how to actually put this down on paper. Having said that, another thing I would like to say is that today I might I might come across as dictating to you what to do, but not at all. Please do not see anything I say today as a dictation, because imagine you decide to write down everything I say or every example I give, and another viewer is doing the same thing, and this is just the borderline fraud. So when it seems as if I'm reading out an essay to you or something, please, it's just for the sake of example to spark your own creativity. So do not copy anything verbatim, because it's plagiarism and somebody else might also be doing it, and might raise a lot of red flags. So let's go straight into the video. First, you also have to note that there's something they call UK priority areas in different countries. It means those areas that the UK government is working in your country. It might be climate change, youth development projects, it might be food sustainability, different areas, and there are also multiple areas in multiple countries. So check out what the UK government is doing in your country, and it's very easy to do. Just go to Google and put UK priority areas in your particular country, probably India, South Africa, Kenya, Cambodia, depending on where you're coming from, and that's it. Try to plug whatever plan you have with these priority areas in your country to make a lot of sense if you go into areas where there are already lines of communication and cooperation between the UK government and your country. So that is very important. So let's go straight into the essay itself. So how do you begin? Some people might choose to begin with probably quotations about career or the need for a career plan, and some will come up with definitions. But for me, that's not my style, because if you give a quotation, for instance, there are thousands of people applying for this scholarship, and the possibility that somebody else might give the same quotation is very, very is very high actually. So instead of giving a quotation, give something that is unique to you. And what is that thing that is unique to you? It is your personal story, your personal encounter. So I would advise that instead of giving a definition or a quotation, begin with your own story. And instead of jumping into a full gear laundry list of what you intend to do, why not begin by stating what you're doing presently and why you need the Chevening Scholarship for your career advancement. Another thing I think you should take note of is that your goals should have both the personal dimension, that's areas of personal advancement, and also areas of community, country advancement. So it shouldn't just be about you alone, but how this thing will help you and help you to help your community. This is very important. It's not, Chevening is a leadership-based scholarship. So it's important to show the community dimension, the community advantages of you getting the scholarship. Very important. So for the first paragraph, you might begin with something like this, that I haven't worked for 3 years as an assistant project manager for a youth organization. I've become increasingly aware of the problems and challenges of the high youth unemployment in my country. And though I've done a number of projects to alleviate the situation, I believe a master's in a UK university will help me with more skills to address this problem. So yes, it will help me for my own career advancement, but also help me to give a more to amplify my contribution to the society. So just adapt this to your particular area of study and your particular area of specialization. So you might give this as your introduction, what you're doing presently, why you need the scholarship, and it serves better if you ask me than a definition or a quotation or something. You're already hitting the nail on the head right from the beginning. So this is your first paragraph. And before you end your first paragraph, you might say that for my career plan, for the sake of clarity, I'll be dividing these plans into the short-term goals, medium-term goals, and the long-term goals. So this has already given you some kind of structure of how to arrange your essay. So you're having a short-term goal, what you do immediately you come back, a medium-term goal some years later, and a long-term goal, the overall big and ambitious plan. So now we have a first paragraph. The second paragraph will begin with your short-term goal, and this refers to what you do immediately after you return from the UK. These should be activities that are quite realistic, that do not require too many resources or too many weeks or months to plan. It could be activities you could just do weeks after returning, like conferences, workshops, tutorials, giving a talk in a seminar, in a convention, in a youth seminar or something like that. Things like this are quite effective, but you do not need too many months or years to plan. But you can set the ball rolling immediately you come back. So depending on the field you are, you could argue that, oh, these are the things I can do just immediately I come back. I think they're it's quite important to have this short-term vision. So do not wait for the very grand one. And then it's also, you could move to the medium-term goals, and this might take probably a year or two. You might need a little bit of methodological planning, so you might need to gather a number of resources as well, make use of your networks and everything. So you might argue in places like this that probably you want to advance your career apply for a managerial role or for a civil service role that will put you in the forefront of policy formulation for the particular area you are specialized. But always remember the community and the individual dimension. So while you state your individual motive for doing this, also state the community benefits for this career plan. So your medium-term goal should be about maybe 2-3 years. I know everybody has a different calendar, so we do not have the same timeline. But a medium-term goal should take a bit of a time because you have to plan and strategize, gather resources, make use of connections, and things like that. So what's up your long-term goal? The long-term goal is just this ambitious, realistic, but still quite ambitious. And you can also argue that through your short-term goal and your medium-term goal, you're trying to accumulate the necessary resources, the necessary connections, making necessary strategies for your long-term ultimate goal. And this is a very ambitious one. For instance, you can say you want to compete for a public office, for instance. As a matter of fact, there are several Chevening scholars who are governors, prime ministers, MPs, so that is not going to be a problem at all. They won't be surprised that the Chevening aspirant is aspiring to become the president because they have that already. So you tell them that yes, there are several scholarship, Chevening scholarship scholars who have moved into government, into policy space, and you want to do the same. So you're trying to gather your resources, your network, your experience through your short-term and medium-term goals. So this is the ambitious one. You can say you want to open a school, for instance, in probably 5 years, in 10 years, and show them how you're going to make use your connections and the knowledge you've earned to facilitate this particular goal. So do not be afraid to dream big, but also be quite realistic. So if you want to become the president, that is, I think it's quite ambitious, but still realistic. And you can mention names of Chevening scholars that have actually become prime ministers, presidents, MPs. So you say, yeah, this is ambitious, but I believe it's attainable because several scholars in the past have actually done it. I'm looking at my history, from my track record, from the skills, from the people I'm able to meet. I think I'll be able to attain this particular goal. So it's just 500 words, so there's so much you can say here. So how do you end the essay? It's important to start very strong. Because I suggest you start not with the definition or with the quotation, but with your own personal story. And it's also good to end very strong, so your essay is not forgettable. Because it might be very interesting in the middle, but you give a very shallow ending, and yeah, it's kind of anticlimactic. So end with a flourish, as I often say. So end big. So you could end by saying something like this: that you are aware that some of these goals are quite ambitious, but they are no less attainable. That with the resources you accumulate over the years, with your exposure you get from studying in the UK, very important, and with the network both from existing Chevening scholars already in the policy space and scholars you're going to meet in the UK, scholars you meet around the world. So with your network, resources, the knowledge you acquire, these goals are going to be attainable. And like Archimedes, you say, give me a place to stand and I will move the world. So something like that. So you're telling them that, yes, these are my plans. And man proposes, God disposes. But you're also putting things, you are putting the building blocks in place to make sure, or to ensure you actualize this plan, because you have to show how realistic these things are in the first place. And for those thinking of doing a PhD, remember a PhD was mentioned as one of the don'ts. Not that they're discouraging you from doing a PhD, but they argue that people who decide to do a PhD, probably as their medium-term or long-term goal, have this problem of seeing the PhD as the end of everything. So if you're doing a PhD, show, as I said earlier, the personal dimension and the community dimension. Show how your PhD will enrich the society, the country you're coming from. For instance, you can say you're doing the PhD research on the impact of artificial intelligence on youth unemployment or something in your country. And the community dimension is that you're looking for interesting ways to engage youths through exposure to information technology, because youth unemployment, youth restiveness is becoming a big issue in your country. You're looking for interesting ways to co-opt this youth energy into the IT space and to lead to an economic boom, both for the country and for these youths as well. So look for how you use this, your PhD aspiration, to solve real community problems. It is very important. And that's it, guys. I hope this was informative. If there's anything I omitted or things I did not say, you can also add them in your comments. And what do you think? I would like to hear from you. So remember to categorize short-term goal, medium-term goal, and long-term goal. Start very strongly with your own personal story. End very strongly, showing how realistic your plan is. And it seems I ended with a quotation, but yes, I was like, oh, like Archimedes, I say, give me a place to stand, and I will rule the world. I believe that's the quotation. But remember, I personalize the quotation, so to say. So it's important to personalize quotations, not just say according to this, according to that. You could always tweak quotations to your advantage, and that's why I say in the first place, do not start with a quotation, because it doesn't give a personal touch to your essay. And yeah, I hope this was useful, and join me in the next 3 videos. The next one particularly will be about why study in the UK. So do not miss that. It's going to be quite interesting. And until next time, guys, see you later.